Some lady put up, yeah, Black Lives Matter and also all animals lives matter. Get your ass off the screen.
Wait.
Yo, what up, y'all? This is Growing Up Shy. Yes, we're back. We're back, baby. We're back. Yeah. Something to be happy about, people. I'm comedian Ronnie Ray. The other host is
Christian Leslie
on the other end of town. And we're doing it by Zoom this time. Just kind of changing it up a little bit because we're trying to be trendy with the times, not together, but apart. We're doing it. The tragedy brought us back together. He called me one night, like, Ron, we got to do something about this. It ain't like we got 1 million followers. We got to do something. Yeah, we need to do something. Call up Lawnmower, let's do it. And we're doing it now. We're talking about a serious topic, though. We're laughing, but we're talking about a serious topic right now. The riots that's going on across the United States. What do you think about this, man?
I think protesting is
I'm sorry, I should have just said that.
No. There are two different things going on.
I just went to the bad. I could have just said the protesters and the riots that's going on.
Right. The protesting's fine. The riots are terrible. The riots are stupid. I've seen a lot of content out there where people say, well, you have to understand where these guys are coming. Look, man, when you're burning people's things, stealing things from people, that's just wrong. That's just wrong. If you're watching this and you know me, then you know I'm not the best human being in the world, but I'm not walking into a store and just taking stuff that I didn't purchase. Mm-hmm. If you didn't learn that as a child, then I'm sorry for you. That's wrong. And what you're doing is you're hurting your neighbors. Because in a lot of communities, like where I'm at, for years, there were no big box stores. We didn't have a Jewel or a Dominick's or anything over here. There were the little little stores, that were just kind of liquor stores, but had groceries in them. And you could go there, you could buy like a carton of eggs for $10. I'm exaggerating, but it was too much. The price of eggs, it was too much.
That's a lot.
Or you had, there are these smaller, they're chain stores, but they're not national stores, right? So you could go in one of those. I'm trying to remember the name of one of them, but you could go in one of those and you could shop, and it was still more expensive, and the food selection was poor. You could go in there and buy spoiled milk. You know what I mean? Like some of these mid-sized chains, they don't care. They don't care. We finally got a Walmart. We finally got an Aldi's. What'd they do? Tore both of them up.
Yeah.
And like I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said, well, they'll be back. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Walgreens isn't coming back because they tore up a Walgreens over here. They're not coming back. They just put it out the other day. They're not coming back. They tore up a Walgreens, a CVS. I mean, it just tore down the signs and everything. This is terrible. So no, protest.
No, before you continue, you're not in San Francisco, right? Let the people know.
No.
You got a bridge behind you.
No. I'm not in San Francisco.
Right here. You can put the Wheels Tower, the Sears Tower back there or something. You like bridges. Okay.
I like bridges and water. But
sorry, man. Yeah, man.
But I think some of what's going on as a result of this, like conversations like these, that's good. I wish more people would, instead of just jumping to go and destroy things, go on some of these police department websites. Like I've been on the Chicago Police Department website. I pulled down, you can download their manual. You can download their use of force regulations. Read them. Read them. Make notes for what you think, should change. And read the Minnesota. If you go and you read the use of force regulations that those police officers, because the whole thing started with the gentleman Floyd. That's where everything came from.
It was the piece of Floyd, man. Yeah.
And the almost 9 minutes that they, had a knee on the man's neck.
8 minutes and 20 seconds. Al Sharpton made people stand up at the memorial. Yeah, that long. That
tactic is technically not outlawed by their use of force. Outlaw is the wrong word, I can't think, but it's technically, that's not in violation of that department's use of force policies.
Right.
That needs to change. That's where that cop thought it was okay, is because what they wrote up was, as long as you didn't have pressure on the front of the neck, then you were okay. So since he had pressure on the side of his neck, he thought he was okay. Now, people need to understand this, because if the verdict comes back, and you have to understand, without malice, if he didn't mean to kill this man, right, then it's tough. It's tough. Plus, his own policy of the police department is not telling him that this is wrong. So it's going to be tough.
He killed him, dog. That's just too long.
Okay.
There's nothing to be. Look, I don't care if you bring Johnny Cochran back. This cop is not.
First of all,
not gonna happen.
First of all, Cochran can do it. Don't go against Cochran. No.
Yeah, Cochran probably it's over. That's the Black Perry Mason out here.
I hated it. I found it distasteful. I almost threw up watching it. Okay, I think that's terrible. But when I looked at their use of force, you would have to indict the entire police department in order to make this work, because this is how they train them. So if you look at their use of force doctrine, they're telling them that this is okay. So
I think you should screen these guys better. I really do. Like we talked about this before on the show the last time.
What?
I think they should screen these guys much better than what they're doing.
Oh,
because I'm like, you see the billboards in LA, it's like, come be a cop, 55 grand a year. You can't beat it. Like, no, motherfucker, I don't want you beating me.
Could you please be a cop?
You know what I mean? He's still trying to make up for that Rodney King shit in '92. Like, dude. Now, who's racing to Minnesota to be a cop now? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But cops been assholes to us forever. Now, that's one thing I want to address too. My white friends. I love y'all. I've been black forever. You call it, hey, I appreciate you calling me. I really do. But I need to say this. Don't call me and tell me you feel bad for me because I'm going through it and how you appreciate the race so much. I'm like, you need to talk to your racist ass other friends. No, I'm not gonna say their name. They know who they are. They know who they are. Go talk to your racist ass friends and tell them that monologue, because I'm like, I done been through a lot of shit.
You actually got phone calls?
Huh?
You actually got phone calls?
From my white friends, yes. How you feeling, bro? I'll be this. I'll be doing this. And it's like, yo, I love you, man. I love you. Don't worry about this, man. No, I'm getting out and you need to say this. And dude, how often do cops done fuck with me? I can't even fucking count. I'm not out here fucking rebelling. I'm chilling because I'm like, yo, man, honestly, when I didn't know they were riding. Until my mom called me like, look at Atlanta. Go to turn to CNN and see what happened. CNN, they busting the windows out of CNN building.
Yeah.
In Minnesota, like obviously in Minnesota. I didn't know they was riding in Chicago until Sunday. The Sunday after that. They were like, yo, turn there. They turn to Channel 7. They had River Oaks clean their house. I'm like, they had River Oaks clean the house? And then the funny shit is, I'm hearing that the people that's doing it, most of them ain't even from Illinois. They're coming from Indiana and Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah. They busting in. They busting in. Hey, let's get on the spots and go to Chicago and destroy things. Yeah. It was look.
It's sad, man.
This is probably, I gotta say this. You know what I wasn't thinking ever? Like, man, I wish I knew what it was like to go through the riots and watch. I never had that thought, ever. I didn't, it wasn't something I desired. It wasn't, but I get it now. Like they were around here insane. They burnt, literally set places on fire.
Yeah.
You know, and it's sad because the next day, I went out the next day, I took some pictures. And the next day, there were still people going into these burned up places and grabbing, food or beauty supplies or whatever. They attacked, dude. They went down Western and broke in. Now, let me show you how bad I am at crime. I don't know anything. They broke into a couple of car dealerships. So I saw windows busted out.
Yes.
Right. So I saw that, and I'm like, why would you go into a car dealership? Right? They don't have cash in a car dealership. And so I was telling my brother, man, they went in to steal the cars. They got the keys to the cars inside the dealership. They went, and that's what I went and talked to one of them. That's exactly what they did. They went in, they got the keys, and they drove.
Yeah, you got to push the alarm. You know what car it is.
Right. Now, who are you helping doing that? And it's not helpful. And that's a lot of energy that you're expending that you could use in a much better way. That's my only thing. And there really is no excuse for it. You just like if you're out there looting and robbing people, then you should go to your parents and ask them to do a better job of teaching you values. Or no, don't go to your parents, because obviously they're terrible. So go to a church.
Yeah, I'm cool with the protesting. That's cool. When you're rioting, I'm like, and no disrespect to my people, because I know my folks. I knew there was gonna be some people that's like, yo, we just going to get you. I'm not even tripping on that. That's go do it, but I'm not about to be there, because you're not about to mistake me for that. I've been on this earth too long for you to mistake me for breaking in the Walgreens, and I didn't break in no Walgreens. I get it though. So I'm on the middle of that, so I can't trip. But yeah.
I gotta say, I get being angry. I get being upset. Because you know me, I'm a results person. Like, what result is going to come from this action? Right?
Yes, this is exactly.
So, if you look at the history of rioting, there's never been a positive result for the people doing the rioting, right? It's not like rioting didn't end apartheid. Rioting didn't, you know what I mean? None of that didn't happen. So, what are we doing? Now we're just mad because we're mad? Okay, I get it. But let's take that anger and direct it to a better place.
Do it. Yeah, that's all.
Social media now. We can sit down, like you said, and I agree with. They need to do better psychological testing. They need to do more often with these police officers. I think it should be at least once a month.
They need to see psychiatrists. You need to see what's up with his background. It's kind of like with. It's kind of like It's kind of like with the way they make teachers go get degrees. Like, just because you can do 1,000 push-ups don't mean you should be a police officer.
First of all, if they ever did 1,000 push-ups, it was just in the academy. Because
I am exaggerating, because I see some of these cops, ain't no way they can't even run 2 blocks without falling out.
Only civil service that can do 1,000 push-ups are firefighters. That's it.
Okay, we talking about the cops. Would you ever had a bad experience with the police officer?
I've had. No, I've seen others have a bad experience. When we were in LA, I got to hang out with Paul Mooney for a bit after his show.
Really?
So
Shut up. Yeah, really?
It was a bunch of us out there. But we're out in front of the Comedy Store.
Okay.
And there was a fight between this black dude and this white dude.
Mm-hmm.
The white dude came in. Black dude knocked him down. And he stood up. He's like, all right. White dude came back again. Black dude hit him twice. White dude went down again.
2 people.
He was like, stop. White dude got up. The white dude's girlfriend ran ahead of him towards the black guy. The black guy, in the coolest move I've ever seen in my life, he took the front side of his hand, open hand, and like smoothly raked her out of the way, and then with his other hand, windmill punched the white dude.
Wow.
So he didn't hit her, he just kind of raked her out of the way and then knocked the white dude down again. And then out of nowhere, and you know this about LAPD, they're like ninjas. Out of nowhere, 6 LAPD officers show up. 6. And the one dude maced the black dude down to the ground like he was a cockroach. Like, you know, he sprayed his can. He was mad. He did. He maced him down at the ground. And then the other 5 guys had their guns drawn on the black dude. Nobody was looking at the white guy at all.
Wow.
Who started it?
Wow.
So then Mooney starts losing his mind. You dirty woman. You know, he just starts screaming. And the other people who were outside of the club, they start telling the police, like, no, he was defending himself. The guy kept, and so, and they cuffed the black guy. So the resolution was they let the black guy go and they let the white guy go.
It was all in fun. Sorry for macing you.
The black guy was going to jail.
Right.
When they found out that it wasn't his fault, everybody went home.
Wow.
That was justice.
I didn't. Yeah, LA. Yeah, I definitely had. I almost got a long story. I'm gonna try to make it short. I was out. No, I'm talking about for me. I'm talking about the story I got coming up, not your story, my story. You know, in LA, that your tags, like with your vehicle tags, is not like Chicago at all. Like if you have tickets, you cannot get another tag until you pay all your tickets plus the money for the registration. So I was behind because you get parking tickets all the time on those streets. They clean streets every week out there. So I was behind. So it came, I was already past due. So I was still driving. So one day I'm in a Shell gas station and this cop sees me. Cop saw me in the car in the gas station. I'm like, she gonna probably look at my tags. So I popped the trunk and I stood and put the trunk up so he couldn't see it. So he literally pulls up. He pulls up probably like 8 feet from me and just stares at me. That night, I go to a party. It was a Friday. I remember this. It was a Friday night. I go to a party. I'm coming home from the party. I get to my block. My apartment had a downstairs garage. There's a lower garage. So you had to open with a remote control. So I saw them coming. I saw a car coming. I hit the thing. I swerved in there real quick, and I saw him creep by real slow. And I'm like, whoo, I made it. The next night, Wayne's birthday. Wayne's birthday, happy birthday that day. Marquise's friend, yes. I go to his birthday party at their crib. They had a magician. It was drinks, everything. We having a party up in here. A magician, though. I was like, this is why I remember a magician was there. So we were drinking, and I'm all fucking drunk from partying the day before. So I'm like, yo, man, I'm heading home. Like, man, you can stay on the couch. I'm like, no, man, I'm gonna go home. You straight up the block, man, right off the break. I can just go straight to the crib. I get 3 blocks from the crib. I get to just be the last stoplight. Here comes a police car. I turn, do my regular. I'm like, I can't even make it to the thing. You know, if this guy fucked with me. And they pulled me over. I cut the car off. For some reason, this block is dark. There's no like street lights. And it's me and these 2 white cops. And he didn't say license and registration. You know what he said? I got your ass now. This is the same fucking cop from both times. So I'm like, shit. And he's like, you ain't gay. He said, you got only 2 things gonna happen. No, he said 2 things can happen. We can take the car and you can start walking home, or we can take the car and take you to jail. Which one do you want? So I'm like, man, I don't think. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, you take, matter of fact, get in the car. They put me in the police car. He talking shit to me through the outside while he talked to his partner. And he waited about 3 minutes. I don't know. I'm fucking drunk, but I sobered up like a mug. Then I'm like, I don't believe this shit. It's like 2:30 in the morning. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Nobody's out here. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm sitting there waiting. And he's just trying to badger me the whole time. Yeah, what do you want? He'll take your car, and take you to jail. So he was saying so much. I'm like, man, just take me to jail. And then he's like, okay, let's go. And his partner was like, no, man, let him go home. Get that fixed. You know, like, just fix it, man. His partner was cool. Just let him go home. Maybe another guy like, hurry up and get in the house when we take you. Like he was just fucking with me. I'm like, wow. I would never forget that shit, huh?
A black dude sleep with his wife? What
I don't know what the He saw my stand-up back like, I hate this motherfucker. Like, I don't know what it was. The whole Friday afternoon, Friday night, Saturday night, this motherfucker was on me.
Trailing
days. I'm not fucking playing. I ain't getting no badge number. It was too dark. I was ready to go to jail. And I'm like, fuck it, man. Just suck it up. You going to jail tonight. Because this motherfucker, he gonna constantly keep fucking with me till this shit's paid. That shit cost $6 fucking to get.
This is why. Oh, I gotta get you. It's not my story, so I can't tell it. Sometimes we should. Did Jerry ever tell you that story?
Jerry Martin?
I wasn't gonna use his last name, but yeah.
I just said Marquis. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of Jerrys out there. He hit me yesterday to put a picture up, and I didn't do it. So he said, "Oh, you guys ain't shit."
No, I didn't do it. I hate that when people are like, "Don't let me down." Repost.
Like depends on your picture.
Yeah, a Facebook post.
Yeah, shout out to him, dog. Like you ain't wish me a happy birthday. What the fuck am I sending a picture? No, I'm playing.
No, I'm not gonna tell. It's his story, but he's got it messed up. Where he didn't do nothing. He didn't do anything at all, and he wound up going to jail for absolutely nothing.
I heard that story. He told. Yeah. I think I was there when he told us the story. Wow.
Yeah. That cost him like $10,000. He ain't doing it. So, but one of my big things too is these incidents that you see. They're all minor crimes or minor infractions, right? It's not like we're seeing a major drug takedown and the cops overreact, where they go in to, Kaiser Sose's, his stronghold, and they're all like that. I'm not going to excuse it if something like that happens, but I could understand that. Maybe, you've got armed people shooting, people with machetes and all. Okay, all right, I can see that. But look at all these, even dating all the way back to Rodney King. What was that? A traffic violation, my man. That's what it was. So why are we so hyped up over these minor infractions that they lead to these major breaks in policy and protocol?
Roger Goodell admitted he was wrong, and okay, it took them tearing up communities for you to say, right. "Oh, okay." Even but the whole Drew Brees thing is funny. Like, dude, anybody disrespects that. Your timing is really fucked if you say that shit when he said it. Like, dude, I thought he said it 2 years ago. No, this was like yesterday. Like, why are you doing this? Really? And then I'm sorry, I messed up. Yeah, it's gonna fuck up your money. That's why you messed up.
Dude, look, I would have more respect for you. I would still disagree with you, and I would still not like you a lot if you just owned up to who you are. Just say you're a racist. You're not a Klansman, but you're a racist. There's a difference. There's a sliding scale. You could be. On a scale of 1 to 10, you could be a 1 or a 2 on the scale of racism. That's not riding around in a truck trying to find dark people you can shoot. That's right. The 10, Right. But you could be a 2 where you just, I don't understand why they have to make so much noise. Okay, cool. I don't like you, but I can watch a 2 play football and not, you're a 2. It's fine. You're just not coming to my house for dinner. That's fine.
No, he's around. Like, NFL is like 75% black dudes. He's a quarterback. All the guys he throws to are black. And these are the guys that know you. You done had them to your house. You had the linemen to your house. They need to protect you. Dude, you shouldn't have said nothing. Like, dude, that ain't nothing to do with me. But that's your truth, but don't apologize. Like you said, don't apologize for your truth, bro.
No. Or the better thing to do, and I've said this a lot. Number one, you need to hide behind your team. You don't just make statements for no reason or off the fly, or on the fly. You need to hide behind your team. You need to say, well, look, I don't have any comment on that right now, and push on. And you need to realize, you know, a lot of these guys, and I remember this from when I was a kid, people say, well, you know, I'm human too. Nobody's disputing that. If you were an alien, the FBI would have you in a bunker somewhere. We get that you're human, but you get paid millions of dollars. And they don't just pay you that to throw a ball. They pay you that for your image. They pay you that because people want to see you. So if you want to, like Jordan said, he caught flack for this, but I agree with him. Republicans buy my shoes too. So he didn't want to endorse it. You have to think about what you say before you say it. I'm not going to get up and for no reason just say this thing that's going to alienate potentially half or a quarter of the people.
I dig it, but I don't think Jordan should have said that either. I don't think Mike should have said that either. Well, I really don't.
I think
that makes him look bad.
I think that was the only thing he could say that was genuine, because he didn't want. They kept trying to draw him out and make him comment, and I think he just tried to get them to shut up, which he did. You know, he said, "Look, I'm not commenting on it, period," because he felt it's bad for his business, and I can't disagree with him on that. And it is a business, and that's where these guys get it messed up. It's a business, and we're spending money just like everybody else. So you can't just say something like that and then not think it's going to have an effect. That's insulting. That's insulting.
Right. Well, anything now, especially
with Goodell, again, with Goodell, he should have just shut up. Like, so now you know it's wrong.
Oh man, look how they burned that AutoZone. I think I've been wrong. What are you saying?
That's what I don't like about it. What are you saying? Now they can point to that. See, because of the rioting, Goodell. First of all, even if that's true, it's not worth it.
Right.
It's not even worth it. Even if that is, it's not worth it. But yeah, he just showed himself as weak. And it doesn't mean you can't apologize for things that you think were wrong or were a misstep. It just means maybe you should keep your mouth shut in the first place a lot of times. Mm-hmm. Maybe the NFL never should have had a position on this to begin with. And players have been allowed to do whatever they do. And if it affected their team, maybe that was up to the managers and the GMs to work that out. You know, maybe that's what it needed to be.
I think a lot of these stars don't have publicists no more, because they just like, yo, I'm saying what I want to say. Like, skip that. Joe Biden with what he said, like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? You ain't black and you ain't voting for Joe. Like, what? Really?
Joe's crazy. Joe's crazy. Joe. Like, I'll vote for Joe, but Joe's nuts. Everybody knows Joe's nuts. There was no reason for him to say
both of President crazy.
I think right now we're in a really weird place where people need to think. I always believe in thinking before you talk, but people really need to do it now. You look at the Second City thing that just came out. Guess back during Ferguson, some of the guys at Second City wanted to do a show on Black Lives Matter, and one of the people at the meeting said, "Well, if we do that, then we have to give half the proceeds to the Chicago Police Department."
For what?
That was an incredibly stupid thing to say. This guy, Dwayne Perkins.
But they both part of it. We need to give the cops something. No, they don't fucking blame of it. What are you talking about? Who's in that meeting?
You wouldn't have a movement if the cops weren't abusing you. Yeah, that's that.
If every cop would stay out officer friendly, we wouldn't have this problem.
You have to. I'm like, who? Why would you? What? But that, apparently this guy, Dwayne Perkins, he's a black guy. He also happens to be gay. And
I know, comedian.
Yeah.
That was Dwayne that said that?
No. He was at the meeting. He was there. But he heard that. He also, so what happened was Second City tweeted a few days ago, Black Lives Matter, and then they quoted Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., his quote about, sometimes silences complicity, right?
Right, right.
And so Dwayne tweeted back all these instances of racism and homophobia that he witnessed or, you know, experienced personally from people in the organization. And so in a matter of hours, really, the executive producer of Second City Chicago resigned. Wow. And Second City is no longer part of, they were supposed to be working with the city of Chicago during the reopening, you know, and everything, doing shows and helping out with little video tags and stuff, which reminds me, we should probably try and make a bid on that since Second City isn't doing it anymore. Gotta have
always trying to get in. Go ahead.
Yes, I am. But they're no longer part of it. They issued a statement saying, upon further reflection, they wouldn't be moving forward with the city. Basically, it wasn't their call. The city.
Got y'all ass.
The city. You have problems with a black guy who is also gay, and you gotta. I don't think
you got strikes coming all over there.
Chicago. I don't think that's gonna happen, my friend.
Right. Come on. Not gonna work.
Not gonna happen. No. So yeah, we should. But what do you think about like moving forward? So everybody's apologizing. Like all these apologies to me are stupid, because you knew you were wrong to begin with. So what do you really, like my grandmother used to say, are you sorry because you're sorry? You're sorry because you're caught, you know? And it just rings to me like you're sorry because you're caught.
I think sorry because you're caught.
Right. And so instead of apology, like I read the Second City statements. To me, it was a bad statement. Again, if you have to apologize for something, call me. I'll write it for you, and it'll be better.
Right.
Because their whole thing now is they're saying, well, we're going to make sure whoever the next executive that we hire, they're going to be part of the, you know, they're going to be a person of color or homosexual or whatever.
You don't want it because of that shit. Like, you get a fair person in there. You get a fair person in there, that's all you need, man. Like, it's the same thing happened at the Comedy Store. Same thing happened at the Comedy Store.
Well, first of all, I mean, if you want to talk about this with regard to entertainment, the entertainment model for how to get in and move up is wrong anyway, because what it does is it subjugates everybody at the bottom, right? You sweeping floors or bartending for nothing or next to nothing.
Use the so many words, you the bitch. In a sense, like,
right.
you the chump. Like, you have to do this. And that's that's the funny thing about moving back here. I'm not to get off the subject, but I heard a comic tell me this. He like, Ray, man, like, you've been at it too long. Those club owners, if you ain't the headliner, they know you're not gonna be the chump. You're not about to go out and hand out flyers for them or be like the guy at the door. None of that. Like, I have to like ask for that job. They're not gonna offer that to me because they don't expect for me to ask for that.
Well, first of all, it's not a job because they're not paying you for it.
Whatever, you know what I mean? Like, with the stage time or whatever the hell, DJ or whatever the hell afterwards.
No, because that's important, because this is how all the rest of it happens. When you don't pay a person money for their time and effort and work, you are essentially enslaving that person. Yep. And so all of the other treatment, whether it's racism, whether it's sexism, whether it's homophobia, all of those stem from the idea that these people are not as good as me because I am being paid. And I have power that they don't have. So in the entertainment model, if you look at the clubs, all of that is wrong. And that's where all of that bad behavior really stems from. It stems from the idea that it's okay to have someone do work that benefits your establishment monetarily and not compensate them.
Yep.
They don't have that model. That model doesn't work on a movie set. Everybody gets paid on a movie set. You know what I'm saying? They have an apprenticeship for the DGA. You get paid for that apprenticeship. And this nonsense about, well, you're getting paid in experience. The moment I can buy some milk with experience, that will be valid. It's not that everybody on set, everybody here is being paid in experience, but you have some people who are actually being paid in money. That's where the imbalance comes from.
Oh yeah, no, they abuse the hell out of you in California, but that's not what we're talking about. We were talking about police brutality and riots and protesters. But we gotta close out the show. We're gonna end it off. Now, the question is, do you believe Floyd would get his justice?
On the elements, I think there's enough to make a case. It comes down to how they argue it. I think second degree, now that it's been declared a homicide, I think second degree is makeable because you can say that the man acted with some reckless disregard. I also think, though, on the other hand, I'm not trying to crawfish, but it's tough because he was trained and told by his department that behavior was okay. Now, the length of how long he had his knee on the man's neck, that's questionable. So I think it's a 50-50. I hate to say it, but it depends on the quality of the lawyers, And you got to remember too, society hates. We can riot and yell all we want, but society hates putting cops in jail.
Yeah,
we do.
We do. The first time I seen the riot stuff, I was actually in California when Rodney King verdict came out. I was in Bakersfield. That was my first time ever being there. Yeah, that was the first time ever being there. My brother was there, my mom went some aunt cousin them in Bakersfield, and we go visit one of my other cousins, and we go to the house. Look what they're doing on TV. To see it, it was like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, when they saw dudes like pulling out of trucks and they whooping them, and they just tearing up the city. I'm like, damn, it's like that. I understand them, you know what I mean? So when I saw this in Chicago, it was like, oh, it wasn't like my first time ever seeing it. You know what I mean? So it didn't take me back. It didn't take me back as much as other people did. But I felt the effects the next day because I go around my old neighborhood trying to get gas, and they broke into all 4 gas stations that like a block from each other, all they like right off the expressway. And it's like, okay, go to the grocery store. You can't go in there. They totally closed that down. Go to the dollar store. You can't go in there. Go to the beauty supply. Go buy some shampoo or whatever. That's all cut down. The liquor stores they trash the liquor store. The white man. Everybody in the hood knows this white guy. This foreign cat, and he employs all the people that come in there. Every time I'm like, hey, bro, what's up? Everybody know him. I ride past there, it's boarded up. They done broken there and tore that place down. So it's like, damn, I felt the effect. I felt more of the effects looking at that. So, man, just be careful out there, man. I ain't got no public service announcement to nobody. But, man, it's just, and yeah, we get treated, we get the, oh, hold on, one more thing. Comedian friend of mine, when stuff was happening a couple of years ago, we were doing a show, and he got on stage and he said, Black lives matter, all lives matter. What are you saying? And I wanted to rush the stage and just swing on him. This is my buddy. I wrote that with him. I'm like, what the hell? But then I'm thinking about it like, all lives matter, yeah. So if we run the race and we all in this race, we coming in last then. Blacks are coming in last then, bro. Y'all always winning. That's what the fuck you trying to say?
Is all lives matter. Again, we were talking earlier about the new boldness of stupid people. And that we're in an age where it used to be bad to be stupid. Like people made fun of you. It was, and now it's so. Well, I have an opinion. I get to say my opinion. Well, your opinion is stupid. All lives matter is to me. You're either racist or you're just dumb.
You just don't
That's
know.
like.
I give ignorance. I give ignorance.
No, if you don't know at this point, and you're over the age of 9, you don't know because you don't want to know. That's willing ignorance. That's you. You are choosing not to know. You are literally going like this, okay? And that's you. So that's stupid. But all lives matter, and anybody out there, I don't think we know anybody who'd be watching who would think this. But if we know you and you're watching and you think all lives matter, then I'm just gonna tell you, you're stupid. And
some lady put up, Black Lives Matter, and also all animals lives matter. Get your ass on the screen.
So wait. So we're arguing not to be murdered by people whose salary we help pay, and you want to bring up animals?
Oh. She said animals. Animal lives matter too. That's some whole other shit. Get that shit. They ain't like a fucking. They breaking out of the zoo and riding through 79th Street.
Are there people trying to break into Brookfield Zoo to murder gorillas?
Nobody's doing that. I'm saying like ain't like they riding like we are and shit. Like what the fuck are you saying, ladies? Dumbass. And one more, we gotta go though, man. But one more thing. Shout out to little Haley, man, the little white girl who was online talking to her parents. Did you see this video?
Oh, I didn't see it.
It's epic, man. They like, these people were in the ghetto, and she had them like, they read the stats. And she's like, well, I got the statistics right here. Mom, they can lie on the statistics. I got some tape for you. You can watch some of these videos. I'm like, whoa, yeah, get them, Haley, get them.
Do you know how many?
No, shut up.
No.
Can you shut your mouth for a minute?
No.
Because I actually work in the ghetto. I see the people.
Do you know why they're in that
Go and I
position?
see these people.
Do you understand the systematic and historical reason for why they're in that position?
They don't care. All they want to do is be ghetto.
No.
Yes, there's some that don't, and there's good people.
No.
Most of them just want to suck off the system or do something bad like drugs or gangs. And that's all they
have been oppressed. They have not been given the same opportunities you have had.
Yes, they do, and there's plenty of black people.
No, they don't, Dad.
There's plenty of
and you not recognizing that as an issue is the reason why it's still continuing today.
I see them all over. There's all kinds of successful people that are of color. It doesn't matter what color, brown, white.
But it's
orange,
a lot harder
yellow.
for them to get to that position.
It doesn't matter. When they do, they're fine. But there's always filthy animals. And
you're calling people of color black animals. You're calling them animals. Are you kidding me?
You didn't let me finish.
That's not okay. No matter what, that's not okay. No matter what, it's not okay.
No, I'm looking at statistics right now.
Your statistics they can be warped. Statistics can be warped. You want me to show you videos? Do you want me to show you videos of cops? I will do it.
Why is statistics wrong?
Because they can be warped. I'm not giving statistics right now. They can be warped. Personal experiences can't.
This is just pure wrong information out there.
Just give me the statistic.
In 2017, 457 white people were shot to death by the police in the United States.
Okay.
223 were black.
76% of the population is white. 13% is black. If they were being killed at the exact same rate by police officers, the rate of black people being killed would be 8.9. But it's not. It's 24%. The rate of white people being killed should be about where it is. So they're being killed at a higher rate. There's more white people, meaning that the amount of people killed by cops who are white would be higher.
She gonna ask her for $1 tomorrow, but it don't matter. He's like 11 years old, going in on her parents like, you dumbass people. I'm gonna know you more. I work with these people down in the ghetto. I said ghetto? What the fuck? You know some shit? I said ghetto. But yeah, shout out to her, man. That's it, man. I can't go nowhere. We go an hour.
All right.
Do you have more? If you have more, we gotta do 1 and 2 then, I guess.
I mean, I always got more on. But maybe we should do another one. I just think there's a lot to this. If you're out there riding, please, instead of riding, read up on some of these rules and regulations. It will shock you to learn where all of this is just coming from the officer doing it. Some of it is really, a lot of it is institutional. Mm-hmm. And that's what has to change. The rules have to change in order for the officers to change. And like we said, you know, they should be, I don't think you should be allowed to even be a police officer past 5 or maybe, because it's a tough job. And maybe we need to rotate you through something else. You could go and work for sanitation or be a teacher or whatever. But, you know, maybe that's it. Put a clock on it. You know, past 5 years, you got to rotate out and do something else. You know?
Wow. That's crazy. People that have been cops 50 years out here, dog. Like, yeah, Sarge or whatever. Not on the street, but you know what I'm saying? Like, they've been that since they was.
Well, maybe that's it. Maybe that's the answer too. Maybe we put you inside and you do paperwork or something like that. But the ones that have been out there on the street, man, you know. And one last thing, I'm sorry, but it has to be something too about why it is that these incidents are all these low risk stops. These people that are unarmed, that we find out later had no ability to hurt anyone because they were a ham sandwich away from a heart attack or whatever. You know, all of these people had problems. So why it really seems like a culture of bullying. It seems like a culture of picking on the person we know. They're not rolling up on Diablo. I don't mean that way. This is the first thing that came to my head. But they're not rolling up on the local drug lord.
Right.
Kaiser associate. They're not going, hey, Kaiser. They're not
right.
You know, they're picking on people that they don't think can hurt them. And that's institutional. There's something wrong with the institution there.
Right. All good, man. But we got to get out of here, man. This is going to be out. I think we're probably out of time. All good, though, man. Leave your info for him, bro.
ChristianLeslie.com. Type in KHRISTIANLESLIE into any search engine. I come up first and own the whole first page. Bing, Google, everything.
Right on, man. It's Comedian Ronnie Ray. Find me under Comedian Ronnie Ray on the Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Also check the website for your boys' shows. Whenever we go back up and start doing shows, it's all good. God bless. Leave me a tag, bro. We out.
If you weren't born in Chicago.
Wasn't born in Chicago.
Then you didn't grow up shy.
You didn't grow up shy.